Good evening, hello everyone. Can you hear me? Hello everyone. Welcome to our first Q1 webinar of for 2025. Breaking into cybersecurity, no experience, no problem. My name is Sylvia. My name is Sylvia, and I'm the host for this webinar. And I'm an IT business analyst. So yeah, this webinar is actually organized by Cyber Academy. You know, you can know it shortly known for CPA. Cyber Protection Academy is a leading provider of IT and cybersecurity training that empowers individuals and businesses to help them evolve, to help them handle the evolving work of IT and cybersecurity. We actually offer a hand-on training, a very comprehensive hand-on training that help you get your hand dirty in the game of IT and cybersecurity. So now, so many of us may be wondering, okay, why should we attend this webinar? Why is this webinar important? This webinar is actually for those who have no experience in IT and cybersecurity, but really want to understand the game of IT and cybersecurity. So then again, this webinar is actually for you. We have so many professionals here that just want to, push out their knowledge in understanding this better. So this webinar is for you. I CPA actually offers a hand-on training, like I said before. So we do a hand-on training, giving you that realistic opportunity to actually get your hands dirty in understanding cyber threats and actually protection of digital assets. But let me not bore you with that much details. Joining us today is an experienced IT and cybersecurity personnel. His name is Mr. Isaiah. Mr. Isaiah works with Amazon Web Services, that's AWS, and he's actually going to enlighten us on his process into his journey of IT and cybersecurity. Mr. Isaiah, how are you doing this evening?
Good evening, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Oh, thank you for joining with us.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good presentation, first of all, and I'm happy, to be on this
Okay.
platform.
Okay. So can you tell us more about yourself, Mr. Isaiah?
Okay, so Isaias is my name, and how do I put this now? I started my IT career or journey by first getting a bachelor's degree in information communication technology, that's ICT, in Nigeria,
Oh,
Crawford University to be precise, where I got things like I had got hands-on on networking. I got hands-on on applications, building of applications. I got hands-on on should I say, junior to intermediate level programming, and I think that's just it. It was in my fourth year that I understood what cybersecurity was. All right, I'll just leave it at that for now. Yeah, that's what has been
okay.
about from my.
So what actually sparked your, would I say, desire to want to go into IT and cybersecurity?
Oh yeah, in my fourth year, after my IT training, I were made to understand different paths that we can venture into after the preliminary IT, which we know of satellite communication, which is telecommunications. We had cybersecurity, and other branches, right? So that was what caught my attention, and I just knew that this was something I was going to be interested in, because the what I understood there was it was more like securing any device, both hardware, software, anything networking. That was just the concept. So before you can secure anything, you need to understand the underlying, should I say, the device or how that device or network works before you can secure. So it was just interesting. I wanted to go, in depth, and it was just cool. Again, it was the term cybersecurity. It looks fancy, and I think that was where I started googling up things, and the interest, stirred up. Yeah.
Okay. So okay, who are your role models, or what book did you read that actually made you to transition from IT to cybersecurity
Okay.
generally?
Okay. First of all, it was not about maybe me reading any book. I think that the first thing that I did, first of all, was getting a training. After my BSc, I got a training around networking. I know I'll keep mentioning networking because that was where I started my core IT career. And there I did what we call CCNA, the Cisco Certified Network Associate, where we learn how network interplay. Then it was when I got there, after my training, I saw other guys who came to learn also. I saw them, learning things around security, and I'm like, yo, these guys are way advanced, than me. What is this about, this networking security? I think that was where everything sparked, out for me. And then I started asking questions, and it was at that
Okay.
point, yeah, that I got, I got information about penetration testing. I got information about hacking. I got information, around vulnerability assessments, how you can, even break through a network, right? It was at that point, I started like eavesdropping on some information, online. So, and then I got, I started, delving deep into some things. Like I might just Google up stuff online. Okay, how do I break through something like this? I just gathered things here and there, and I just did try and error of some things, and it actually worked. And that was what, changed. When you just try something and then it work, that quest for more knowledge, started coming in. I think that was what, started pulling me in. And then after that point, I got an offer for a master's degree in cybersecurity. That was where everything, started exactly.
Okay.
And then, everything here is history.
Okay. So okay. So you're currently working as an operational engineer for Amazon Web Services. So how does that role actually link to IT and cybersecurity? What's the
Okay,
relationship?
okay, brilliant. Currently, I work as an operations engineer with Amazon Managed Services. Amazon Managed Services is a subsidiary under Amazon Web Services. So here we do a lot of things. We work around identity access management. We do things relating to networking, so any issue around networking within the cloud, within AWS, these are things that I handle. Things around automation, these are issues that I handle. Maybe there's a break. Maybe we're supposed to do what we call patch management. We want to update. Let me just I mean, I'm considering the students, that we have here. Not everyone is familiar with some terms and terminology, so I'll try to break things down. Maybe we want to upgrade a software, for instance. Now, so we have what we call automating tools that we just, with a click of the button, it runs. So there might be an instance where the automation might not complete because something went wrong. So that's my job, to do the fix. right? So then also security is also part of what I do. So I work on endpoint security. So we what we do, we support some customers. The cloud actually is a platform where you can host your business, or you can host your application. The reason why you're hosting your application on the cloud is so that you can get assistance with monitoring. We want to monitor your application 24 hours for you. We want to ensure that security is provided for your application, such that people, cannot, send, should I say, spikes of volume or request, every request that your application that will be too much for your application to handle. In all, it's more like I am managing your platform. So then again, I don't want to go in depth, but there's a kind of there's something we call a shared responsibility model. So there are some things, if I'm offering service to your company, for instance, there's some things that I expect you to do. It's like kind of agreement. You do XYZ on your application, then I consider, I work on security monitoring. So to answer your question, we offer security solutions to some of the companies, and then endpoint security, to be precise. I work with Palo Alto and other devices. Yeah. I'm not sure if our host is still here. Can you hear me? Am I still loud and clear? If you can hear me, just type in the comment section, please. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Okay. I think I was just double checking, that
Sorry
some.
about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just double checking that we have people that can hear me loud and clear. Oh, thank you, thank you. I can see Victor, I can see Oluwatobiloba, I can see Thank you. So continuing with what I was saying, I offer, or we as a service, we offer what we call endpoint security
Yeah,
protection
so sorry.
for some of our clients. So what I do is more like so we have what we call you might not know what it is exactly, but when we talk about endpoint security, it's more, I would say the littlest that you can understand is like, let me say, your antivirus now. That's the minutest that which you can understand. Now imagine that you're trying to secure the network of a company, you're trying to secure the application, you're trying to secure so many things all at once, and then you now have like a digital or a web application that is designed for this purpose, for all this specification. So that's what I do as a service. So that's the interlinking. You asked the question that how is what I do in the cloud, how is it related to cybersecurity? So we have the cloud security aspect, you understand now, which I also function in my company. So in as much as we provide services, we ensure that we do 24 hours monitoring. We ensure that we also provide security services, and where there are issues, we have what we call an incident force response. So a customer can open a priority one case, and they tell us, okay, we are having this issue. Someone that we don't know, a user that we don't know, has already accessed our application. Can you help us find out, troubleshoot what is going on? So that's my job, to find out what went wrong, and whitelist or blacklist such users.
Okay, that's interesting. So, at what point do you actually find or understand the importance of cybersecurity? What incident made you to understand that?
Yeah, so you need to understand that the way the business works, these days, they say time is money. When one of we call what we call, there's something in cybersecurity that we call the CIA, or confidentiality, integrity, and accounting. Every company wants to ensure, that their data, is confidential. They want to ensure that there's integrity. When data is moving from a border from point A to another point B, you want to ensure that during transit, a threat actor is not able to eavesdrop, right, on your data. So when I mean eavesdrop, it's not able to, collate, get something, or should I say alter the state, of the data. So these are the things that companies, are careful for, because we have people, that steal company information and they sell it out, to the bad guys. So it's something, that's that we need to be, careful about. So now, when you have a scenario where a top company like Amazon, you do can't afford that risk, because a company who is occupying or who is taking 25% of the 65% of the market share, you want to be at the top. You have so many competitors. If you're out of business, it will take you time to recover. So that is why, there's a nitty-gritty, for security. In fact, if you want to bring out any service or you want to bring out any application, every company wants to make sure that
Yeah.
security is embedded at every layer of the design, or every layer of the application. So that's how much, security cybersecurity is important, in every company, right? In fact, some companies, outsource, that's function, to other companies, to companies that specialize, only on that, right? So, yeah, just in summary, I would say, if your perimeter, or if the solutions that you're offering is not, secure, then you are joking. Let me just put it that way. You're not ready to prove to compete, at top level. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have like any role models or mentors that actually influenced you to this career path of yours?
Okay. I would say, so to me, I don't look at big mentors. Where my concept, the concept, around mentorship, for me, even people that are just close, to me, people are doing amazing things. It can even be someone who even just got into the industry. It can be you, depending on how, what's the word now, how enthusiastic, you are, how
Okay.
yes, how cocooned how you want to immerse yourself in the world of cybersecurity. In this field, overtaking is allowed. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Someone who is just coming in can, be doing crazy things. So it's not really about, who has been in the game as such, because the thing is that, the world of cybersecurity, things are getting obfuscated. When I mean obfuscated, it means things are hidden. There are a lot of the hackers are getting better, and the people that are trying to, prevent the hackers have to be on their toes. So things are changing, right? So if you say you have been in the game a long time and you don't, what's the word now, you're not on your toes, you're not looking out, for changes, things, new tools that are coming in, you'll be kept aside, right? So what I'm saying this to say, that anybody can be good. Let me just put it that way. Right. And
Okay.
yeah, I don't look at, say top, people or something. There are a lot of people around, doing amazing things. You see someone 12-year-old, it's just it's just that we are not privy to this information. There are people that are doing crazy things out there. Yeah, yeah, I hope maybe that you understand, the angle to which I'm trying to answer that question.
Okay. So, what are some of the significant cybersecurity threats you must have challenged? You must have come across during your period of working.
Mm, yeah, so I would say, there's what we call the amplified, DDoS attack. I would say so. That's what we call the distributed denial of service attack. So when we say, denial of service, it's a form where, people send bogus requests, to your application. For instance, now let's say, you own a site or a company called Black Hole, .net or .com. I don't know what it is, but just giving an example. You have about 10,000 users or 10,000 clients that are buying from you, and they are also offering services and they depend on your service for them to function, so you can see, the chain, right? If your sorry, I lost my train of thought. Can you give me the question again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I said repeat the question again. I lost my train of thoughts.
Okay, so what are the challenges you
Okay.
faced, like
Okay,
the
yeah, I got.
cybersecurity challenges you faced,
Yeah,
and
I
how were
got
you
that.
able to address them?
Yeah, I got that. So I'll continue what I was saying. The challenge. So I was giving an example of distributed denial of service attack. Yeah. So these are the things, that people. It's more like they're trying to make your service not available. Let me just put it that way. So some people can send an amplified attack. That's what I mean by distributed denial of service. So in that kind of case,
Okay.
people use now with the advent of artificial intelligence, AI. That AI can be good and it can be bad. I know that we are branching a little
Yeah.
away from cybersecurity to AI, but I'm just telling you how AI can be an enabler, to disrupt people's services. Now is if AI well crafted, you can have what we call bots, around, and they send, like attacks here and there. It can come, it can be made to, I mean, requests can be sent maybe from China, from Nevada, from Switzerland, from different parts of the world, attacking one single application, for instance, in Lagos. Now, how are you able to track all of this, in real time? It's a kind of challenge, so these are things, that's like, that can make an application not, accessible. For example, you go to a bank and they say, oh, our services are not available, at all. So an example, is this which I've given you. So it is difficult. These are things that I've encountered, real time. These are actually difficult, to identify, as such. So there are ways, that we can remediate or that we can mitigate this. But to answer your question, this is an example, of things, that we have faced. Also, we have, malware, like what we call malware analysis. Sometimes when I mean malware can be like, what we call maybe viruses, Trojan. I mean, those are the basic things, but you can have a new kind of malware that has been thrown, into devices, and it can be difficult, to analyze, such kind of malware. I did something like that, when I was in uni, and like it can be difficult, you know. I'll say, like, to mention a few, those are things that I feel that I've like worked on, read hands. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now when you get to hear about a novice get to hear about the concept of cybersecurity, are you there? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so when a novice gets to hear about the concept of cybersecurity, what comes to their head is, oh, hacking and all that. How do you explain to these people that cybersecurity is not just about hacking alone? How are you going to explain to them in details what it's all about? Because everybody feels like cybersecurity is just hacking alone.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things. Thank you for the question. There are a lot of things that are bounded, within the cybersecurity domain. Sorry, I'm using my hands. Like I used to be a teacher before, so I put all these gestures,
Okay.
up and stuff. So
Yeah.
just get used to it. Yeah. So continue what I'm saying. There are a lot of things that are attached, to the cyber, domain. You need to understand what there's something that we call framework. So frameworks and policies are things that are being set. Yeah, like a kind of a rule of thumb, but maybe not necessarily a rule of thumb. It can be like guardrails, that are being set to make sure, should I say, people should I say, oh, how do I say this now? That make us operate in the right way of doing things. Now, for instance, now you have a company, and then you're calling me in to come and act, to should I say, what's the word now? To perform what we call penetration testing. All right. There are people that will design and tell you, okay, this and this and this is what you can do. All right. You cannot go beyond the scope. You cannot go beyond this boundary. So it's more like there are people that write policies, there are people that write, frameworks, and they are what we call there are some like I would say framework policies. Now we have other aspects, you understand, now, of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is not just hacking. You understand? It is not just you log into a system. All right. You need to first of all understand the system itself. You understand? Before you can secure anything, like when I started explaining, before you can secure anything, you need to understand what you are securing. If not, you'll be in a loophole. Do you understand now? So I'll say for everyone who is saying, oh yeah, I want to get into the field of cybersecurity. Yes, it is interesting. It is robust. There are different harms, to it. It is not just about hacking. Hacking, penetration testing, hacking is one aspect. Now, what we call vulnerability assessment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are there any emergent? Okay, so is there any emerging trends or technology that you're excited about at the moment? Can you share with us?
I would say, imagine. Okay, now, the thing, like,
Hello?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Should I go ahead? You're asking me for emerging tools or maybe trend, something that's coming up, right? So I'll go ahead with that.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
I explained, that I mentioned about
Go on.
I talked about generative AI, and we need to understand that even currently, the world governments had a conference, on Gen AI. I had a conference on Gen AI, should I say, a few weeks back, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, in France, where JD Vance, was talking about, how AI, is being used, is being abused or used. There's something, that one of my mentor usually say, if the Miles Monroe, I don't know any of you that know Dr. Miles Monroe, he said that, if the purpose of something is not known, it says like abuse is inevitable. So there's a purpose, for a service, there's a purpose for a tool, right? So we understand that AI, in as much as it is good, is bringing a lot of disruption. So there's the tools that are being created now, are embedded into AI, and it's more like it's a world, it's like an unknown world, and we don't know what to expect. Let me just put it that way. So the in thing, that everyone is talking about now is like generative AI. That's what people are using, and yeah, I'll say that's just it. That I would say. Yeah, I mean, there are other tools, that are coming up, but nothing, serious as such. I'm not sure if our host is still here. And let's just give her a couple of seconds to come in.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so what certification do one actually need if they want to further into IT and cybersecurity? What certifications what qualifications do you advise someone to attain?
Okay. So now I'll put it this way. So IT, cybersecurity. Now, both of them have a common denominator, right? Which is
Okay.
you need to understand you are using a system, right, for the operations right now. Now, if we break it into granular form, what kind of system are you using? You're using a Windows system, right? Or you're using a Linux system, you're using a Windows server, or you're using a a Linux server. Let me put it that way. I think those are the things that we use normally in the IT world. So you need to be able to maintain proficiency, understanding the tools you understand now that are in your system. You need to know how to play around things. Google, YouTube should be your friend. At this point there's nothing that cannot be learned. Do you understand now? If you don't know what a server is, you need to like Google up. I mentioned Windows Server. There are different kind of server. Windows Server 2016, version 2019. Understand like how to play around things, because by the time you want to enter the world of cybersecurity, you'll be building labs where you have a scenario where there is a server, and then you create another system. Then you're going to design a network where both of them are interlinked, and you'll find a way to hack into it. Those are like, that's why I'm saying like it's like the cybersecurity is one side, the IT is one side, but it is safe to say that the IT is underlying, is it's something that you need to have understanding about. You understand now? Yes, you need to understand things around it, and then before you can just play around some tools. But the point is, there are different areas in the world of IT. Now when I say there are different areas, we have what we call database, and that's one side. We have applications. Under applications, we have web applications. For those people, I'm very sure some of you know what we call the HTML,
Okay.
CSS. Say you want to design a website, so that is one aspect. You understand of it. You need to know. There are things around React, Angular, JS, Node, and all those things. I don't want to be speaking, too many languages now. In IT also, we have the networking side also. If you're talking about certifications, there are certifications, that you can do, within the world of networking. We have different vendors like Cisco, Juniper. I would say, like 1 hour, is not enough, to like break all of these things down. So I would say that, if you have like questions on what area that you feel that you want to branch into, you can always like reach out to cyberprotectionacademy.com for more insights, or you can just give me a shout on LinkedIn. I'm available
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. Yeah, Isaiah Sokupevi is my name on LinkedIn. Just check me out, and I'm ready to answer every question. It's a lot. Our truth must be told. I know that if I'm saying a lot of things, like you might, some people are following me, but some people might get confused. Then so I'm just trying to make you understand that there are different arms, within IT itself and in cybersecurity. Also, in cybersecurity, there are different arms. Also, we have the application security side, we have the malware analysis side, we have the forensics. We have the forensics, digital forensics. We have, we have been calling the hacking and the penetration testing, which sounds juicy. Everybody wants to go into that part, right? Yeah, I'll say that's just the area, and then also the place that I operate into. Okay, I see someone is telling me, oh, please can I put my LinkedIn information here? Okay, so you can just check me on here. I just dropped it now. Yeah, so if you just type that, you will see me on LinkedIn. And just give me a shout. I'm ready to answer any of your questions. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. I said, I mentioned, application security is something that you want to delve into, because cybersecurity itself is broad. So you need to know exactly what you want to do. And where the space where I operate currently is the cloud security. That's where I operate currently. So I mean, I can easily tell you so many things around the cloud. If you want any information about AWS, I will give you resources free of charge. That's the space I operate in. So yeah. Okay, I think there's some network distortion. Let's just wait for our host, to pop back in. I think she'll be right back in a few seconds. Yeah. Yeah. So while just to mention before our host comes back, well, when I was in university, when I was doing cybersecurity as a course, I did malware, analysis. I did penetration testing. I did cloud, which I'm working in currently. I did what we call IT law and ethics. Like I mentioned before, there are some people that write these laws. There are some. Uh, it's just like governments. Like if people just have access, to do anything, and there are no consequences, it means that businesses will not operate, right? So there should be IT laws, there should be ethics that govern the way, cybersecurity engineers operate, or people just operate within the cyberspace. So that's the point, I'm trying to make here. IT law, I did that, and there's something we call cryptography. So cryptography, these are the things that have to do with encryption. Some of you might be aware what we call public key, private key encryption. You might hear data. You might be hearing things like data in transit, data at rest. So there are some kind of should I say encryption algorithm. Every devices that operates using the internet have an encryption technology. We have what we call the AES, Advanced Encryption Standard. We have the DES, and so you can just check on all those that on some of those things. We have different algorithms that help us, in making sure that our devices are like standard, right? Even our web applications, they have what we call certificate authority. There's some certificate, those certificates have digital signing. So if I send you a mail, the proof, like that your mail is not stolen by someone else, is a CA, the certificate that is on it, and some of the cryptographic encryptions that have been embedded, on the websites. For instance, Yahoo Mail, for instance, Google Mail, they have some strong encryption mechanisms here. So I think that's I would say I'll just leave it at that for now. So if you're following me, just to make sure that you guys are following me online, you can just oh yes, if you feel that you understand what I'm saying, or just say yes. If you feel you don't understand, maybe you're not clear with what I've been saying so far, you can also say no. You can type in the comment section. I just want to see that I have audience here. Oh, Victor said it's following. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, Mark is following. That's nice. Yeah, just to mention also that like I am open. This is something that is dear to my heart. I'm open to answer questions. I'm open to point your attention to anything, and even if I cannot solve, I'm telling you now, even if I cannot solve your problem, I can point you to someone or anybody that can solve your problem. So that's just it. Thank you, Adigbite. Thank you, Osazua. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just to pick things up, this is CPA co-host. So, Mr. Isaiah, what are the difficulties in trying to get a job what would be your advice? I know a lot of people are trying to get jobs in IT and cybersecurity. What are the best advices you could provide to them?
Okay, I'll say, there's so many things, like so now there are things, let me put it this way now. There are things that you can control and there are things that you cannot control. For instance, now, there's some companies that will tell you, oh, we want you to have I mean, it's ridiculous. They would say they are looking for someone, an intern, in cybersecurity, and then they expect that person to have 5 years experience. Imagine, and then you are just, you have just built labs, you're trying to, help yourself out there, and you want to get into the industry, and then by the time you get here, you have attended all the interview, and then you're not being called out. That's that you can't control that. So what I would say, what I would say is that you need to focus on what you can control. And what I mean is that, number one, what can you control? You can control how your CV should look like. You need to present your CV in a way that tailors what you want to apply for. Sometimes, we just, push our CV out there, and then you are not following the method, that is relevant, that is industry, accepted. So I'll give you an example. If you have worked on a project, on any cybersecurity project, or you have done anything in IT, you want to capture, you want to capture, what you have done. You say, okay, I was able to build this lab, and this is what this lab can do. You just give a short, brief, and then you provide a link, to the lab, so that anybody can visit it and see what you have done. So that way, you are, it will spur the interviewer, whoever is receiving your CV, it will push them to want to call you. Let me put it that way. So then, what I would say is, you need to also work on your confidence level. Sometimes, it can be, now this is for people who are now getting called, because it's one thing you submit your CV is accepted. So let's say you have a good CV, and then they call you for interview. Now, there's another thing for you to have to be sure of what you have done. You need to break, through, nervousness. You need to be able to, like, for instance, as I'm talking to you now, I'll ask you some questions. You need to be, eloquent, and speak in a clear and concise manner. Those are the things, that people are looking, out for. Speak, the technical terms. You want to be sure, that you understand, what you're saying. Then I would say, that you don't necessarily, that is this another way now, you don't necessarily need to apply for only cybersecurity jobs directly. There are different roles that are within IT, that is maybe close to cybersecurity or just IT specific. The major thing is enter in. Then people just want to see that you have that experience. Once they can see the experience, on your CV, okay, you have worked here in once IT solutions, you've done XYZ, it is easier, to climb either vertically or laterally within the industry. So I'll say those are the things, to the best of my own knowledge. If I'm not sure if I'm missing anything out here. I think those are just the things. And also, I would say try to follow up. Join other. What's it called? There are some seminars. Or maybe not necessarily seminars, but there are some meetups. Should I say cybersecurity meetups. In your location, just follow up, for things like that on LinkedIn, and be part of those people. That way you are networking. You cannot be working in isolation. Even if you don't have a job, you need to have friends, that think alike. If they say, oh, like, if you have five wise friends, you have not counted well. You are six, actually. It means there are six people, right? So similarly to, if you have five foolish friends, it means you didn't count well. It means that there are six people. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that you need to place yourself with people that are doing the same thing, you understand, and as you. So in that way it will be easier, for you to get, into the industry and ask questions. If when you go also for an interview, I know I might be talking here and there, but it's just needed. When you go for an interview and probably you cannot answer a question, you ask after the interview, you ask the interview, okay, um, can you answer this question? Like I want to know, or you can say, oh, I don't know about this question, but I will find out and I'll get back to you. It's important. They want to see that shows, that you're learning. So I think there's just so many things, but I might not, at the top of my head, I might not be able to say, everything at the moment. So I'll say that's it from me, host.
Okay, that's good. So we know that CPA actually offers training and hand-on labs. But what advice would you give to people who are still doubting, these whole ideas, IT and cybersecurity?
Yeah, so at this point, if you're not sure of what you want to do, you need to understand that time is not on your
Can
side.
you
So,
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, and I'm answering. Can I go ahead? Okay, yeah. So, I'll just go ahead. Yeah, for those that are doubting, you must. I mean, if you're interested in IT or cybersecurity, we need to understand that this is the in thing. This is the world, that we live in. I'll say IT, cybersecurity, content creation. There are things um, that I mean, you want to understand. You want to you. These are where the world, is geared towards, and this is where the money, sorry, is flowing to. So if you're doubting, and or maybe you're afraid or you're nervous, you would never start. You understand now? It starts with one step ahead, and then you start, and then from there you move to the next step. You move like that. So you need to take a step. You cannot just be idle. You need to try something first. You know, before you can now, say something is not working. You try, you keep trying and trying again. Get on trainings, get on hands-on, put yourself out there, get your hands dirty. You will see. You cannot. You need to. The brain, has been designed to accommodate a lot of things. You can be better than me in the space of 2 years. I'm telling you. So there should be no stopping you, at this point. So that's just the advice, that I have. And then you have access, to people like me. You can ask any question. I'm just a chat away. And if I'm busy, I'll just tell you, hey, I'll give you a shout out. I'll give you a shout, once I get a chance. It's just that simple. And you can also reach out to your mentor. Also, you can reach out to CPA. Like you have so many access. That's the truth. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to hand over to my boss. Hi,
Um,
Abraham.
all right. So it's been an interesting conversation, and I believe everyone has learned a lot from this. And it's exciting to have an operations engineer from one of the big companies which we know and we all rely on in terms of cloud services. And we are really grateful for this insight, Mr. Zayas. Uh, and definitely, you can follow him on LinkedIn. But in summary, try to get into IT regardless if you're a beginner or not. The most important thing is you need to know what you want and then go for it. Now, when you want to go for it, from what Isaiah said, you need to, have that determination to, put in the work, the time to get what you want. And those time involves learning and also doing a lot of practicals. Now, from the IT side, from Isaiah said, and the cybersecurity side, they are connected away, but you have to begin with the IT to know the core concept of IT before you can pick up in cybersecurity, especially if you want to be in cybersecurity for a very long time. So we definitely learned a lot in this. But if you wish to make that step forward, definitely CPA is always there for you in terms of coaching, in terms of getting the hands-on training, and then walking you through that path to get the job which you're looking for in terms of IT and cybersecurity. So at this point, we have a lot of questions. So let's see if we could pick more questions before
Oh yeah,
we can call it.
I can see a question from Victor. Victor is saying, could you give us beginner tips to get free resource material? I know everybody's looking for free resource. Yeah, I'll say there are courses, cybersecurity courses on Udemy. There are cybersecurity courses on cybrary.it. I would say, that one you need to pay, for it. But if you're talking about free courses, you can check Khan Academy, for free courses. If you're looking for things relating to cloud, I mean, say you want to do things relating to cloud, I would say a cloud guru, is the, let me just make notes of some of this that I'm typing on the chat. 1 second. Yeah, Udemy for cybersecurity courses. I would say also, let me see. For cybrary.it, like if you want to do labs, if you want to do core labs, cybrary.it. There you get to see, some hands-on, but you know that you have to pay, to get, that. So, and then also YouTube is your friend. Also, you see some things, some examples of labs, that you can build. And also you have CPA, Cyber Protection Academy. So they're here for you. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any further questions uh, regarding this? But something everyone needs to know, regardless what field you find yourself, IT cuts across every field. So it's going to be a plus for you to learn IT if you're still thinking about that. But in terms of cybersecurity, the honest truth is everyone wants to learn this, but the question is, do you have the right PC? Do you have the right laptop to do the hands-on to be able to get this done? So if you're thinking of looking for something very much free, you can, but for that's the knowledge base. But in terms of hands-on, you also need to invest a lot in yourself, getting the right PC, getting the right platform to get this done. So I think that's pretty much what we have here. So it's been an exciting insight. Just for further information, if you are looking towards, you know, getting more information from the Cyber Protection Academy, you can just view from the website. You have the website here, and you can just go into the training. So we have trainings which we take in different batches. So we have the IT training and the cybersecurity training. So we do this in cohorts. The next IT cohort begins in March, which is this month, and we have next cohort probably in May, and the next cybersecurity cohort is going to start in April. So we don't really do this every month or every 2 months. It just depends on when we feel we can take on this training because we have limited spots involved in this due to the fact that everybody wants to learn. So I think at this point we just have to say thank you to our fantastic guest, Mr. Zayas. We really appreciate your time spent, and also our host, Sylvia Francis. I think at this point we have to say everyone on the call also thank you for your time to join to get to learn more information. We'll definitely have more webinars coming in quarterly. So this is for Q1. We have the Q2 coming up soon, and definitely everyone will be aware of this. So at this point, we just have to say thank you very much, guys, and give back 2 minutes of your time to just remember everything we discussed here. And if you have any further questions, you can reach out to us, which is the website the Cyber Protection Academy, and you get all that form of contact in there. So at this point, thank you very much, guys, for your time. Thank you, Isaiah, and thank you, Sylvia. Have a fantastic evening, morning, and afternoon, wherever you may be. All right, guys.